To be or not to be? That is the question. Or perhaps it is the answer for a new beginning. Written by William Shakespeare, the tragedy was about the young Prince of Denmark, Hamlet. He had lost his father, King Hamlet, to an unknown cause of death. Throughout the play, Hamlet scrambles to find out what had happened to his father to find out that his uncle, Claudius, had poisoned the king to steal the throne. The speech To Be or Not to Be, as with most of Shakespeare's tragic plays, involved death. Translated to modern English, the speech establishes the choices of living and dying to escape the hardships of life. This speech is significant because of its poetic structure, meaning, and future impact. Suicide and murder are huge factors in tragic plays, but the ways they are incorporated make them beautiful. Dying, sleeping, that's all dying is. A sleep that ends all the heartache and shock that life on earth gives us. By comparing death to sleep, he creates juxtaposition. Death is comfortable. Even if death is comfortable, Hamlet also adds that we think too much about the concept that we may never go through with the action. There is always a meaning behind an action. Hamlet states, "Who would choose to grunt and sweat through an exhausting life unless they were afraid of something dreadful after death? The undiscovered country from which no visitor returns, which we wonder about without getting any answers from, and which makes us stick to the evils we know rather than rush off to seek the ones we don't." Hamlet implies that instead of giving up, one should just continue with life. By suggesting that death is an unknown entity, we feel more obliged to stay away from it as much as possible. Rather than push the audience not to commit suicide, Hamlet persuades them with reverse psychology. Although written in the 1500s, this speech would impact modern audiences as well. Bullying, abuse, recession, and poverty have impacted the lives of many people in this era. Hamlet's speech is not the happiest one out there. However, it does give an opinion on how death and life should be handled. The quote, "After all, who would put up with all life's humiliations?" provokes the simple everyday struggles, suggesting that even though everyone should not have to put up with the small difficulties, that they should anyway. This speech has impacted the readers with its meaning and beautiful poetry. Suicide is never the answer and never should be. Hamlet does not make it clear in the beginning, but it soon becomes obvious that death is a concept that cannot be obtained with your own sword because we fear its unknown future. Hamlet believes that actions that should be carried out at once get misdirected and stop being actions at all, and that death should not be tested.